feel like you're just drowning in information? I mean, seriously, everywhere you turn, there's like another article to read, another report to analyze, another social media thread just totally sucking you in. It's exhausting.
It's true. I mean, we really are just bombarded with information like constantly. And the thing is, our brains weren't, designed to process data at this volume, so it's no wonder we feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but the pieces keep multiplying, like right there in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Can't even find the edges, let alone like figure out the picture.
Yeah.
So today we're diving into something that might be the life raft we need in this sea of information, and we're calling it 𝗢𝗡𝗢 AI.
Right. 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢 AI is a tool that's powered by AI, and it's designed to help us organize and make sense of all this information that we're just, encountering all the time. Think of it as a personal assistant, but like for your brain, helping you to just sift through the clutter and find the insights that really matter.
Okay, that's a pretty compelling pitch, but I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical. There are a lot of tools out there that promise to solve information overload. What makes 𝗢𝗡𝗢 AI different? What makes it stand out?
Well, what sets 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢 AI apart is its approach. You see, it's not just about collecting and storing information. It's about understanding it, connecting those dots, and turning it into knowledge that you can actually use.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break this down. What are some of those core features that make 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢 AI so unique?
Well, one of the key features is this thing called mind mapping AI. So instead of just staring at these walls of text, 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI takes your data and transforms it into these interactive mind maps.
Interesting.
Yeah, these maps visually represent the relationships between different ideas, so you can actually see the big picture and understand those complex topics so much easier.
So it's kind of like taking this jumbled mess of thoughts and turning them into this clear, coherent diagram.
Precisely. Our brains are wired for visual processing. So by presenting the information in a visual format, 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI is really tapping into our natural cognitive strengths, making it easier to grasp those complex concepts and just remember information.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's say I'm working on a research project and all of my information is scattered across different apps and devices, notes, spreadsheets, web articles. How does 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI handle that?
Well, that's where the smart data aggregation feature comes in. It pulls information from all sorts of different sources, so you don't have to waste time copying and pasting everything into one giant document.
So no more frantically searching for that one brilliant thought that I scribbled down like weeks ago.
Exactly. 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI gathers all those valuable insights and just brings them together in one central hub, but it goes beyond just gathering. It analyzes this information to help you uncover hidden connections and potential insights that you might have missed, and they call this their context engine.
Okay, hold on. That context engine has me curious. It sounds almost too good to be true. Can you give me like a concrete example of how it provides insights that someone wouldn't have found on their own?
Absolutely. Let's say you're researching the electric vehicle market. You've got all these articles about battery technology, government subsidies, consumer trends, all in different places. 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI's context engine might connect your notes on battery advancements with an article on new government incentives for electric car buyers. And this would highlight a key insight that the growth of this market depends not just on those technological breakthroughs, but also on policy decisions. It's that kind of connection that can really spark new ideas and strategies.
That's a fantastic example. It's like having a research partner who is constantly reading and analyzing alongside you, just pointing out those connections that you might have overlooked.
But creating mind maps can be really time-consuming. Does 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI address that? Oh, they do. They have a feature called one-click visualization that will automatically generate those mind maps right from your data, so you don't have to spend hours manually structuring the information. 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI does all the heavy lifting for you.
Wow, that's a huge time saver. So instead of getting bogged down in the mechanics of organizing, I can actually focus on understanding and applying the information. It seems like 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI could be a game changer for all sorts of people, entrepreneurs, researchers, students, anyone who just feels overwhelmed by information.
You're absolutely right. It's been designed to be versatile and adaptable to different needs. So, for example, an entrepreneur could use it to map out their business plan, track market trends, and identify those potential opportunities. Researchers could use it to organize complex data, uncover connections between studies, generate new research questions. And for students, well, imagine creating interactive study guides that connect different concepts and just make learning way more engaging. I mean, the possibilities really are endless.
It sounds like 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI has the potential to empower people to take control of their information and just use it to achieve their goals more effectively. But all of this incredible technology has to come at a cost, right? How does 𝗢𝗡𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 AI generate revenue?
They've adopted a freemium model so you can try out some of the basic features for free, but to unlock the full power of Oknest AI, you will need to subscribe to their premium plan. It's a smart way to give people a taste of what the platform can do before they commit.
That makes sense to give people a chance to experience the value before they buy in. But are there any other revenue streams that they're exploring for the future?
Oh, definitely. They have some pretty ambitious plans. They're looking into developing enterprise solutions that are tailored to the specific needs of businesses. They're also considering data licensing, selling anonymized, aggregated insights to research firms and analysts who are always hungry for that valuable data. And they're even exploring affiliate marketing with relevant Web3 projects to create a more interconnected ecosystem.
So it's not just a tool. It's becoming a platform, even a community for knowledge sharing and collaboration. That's impressive. But technology never stands still. What about updates? Is Oknest AI working on any new features that we should be excited about?
As a matter of fact, they are. They're gearing up for a major update, DAP V2. They're calling it a game changer, and for good reason. One of the most exciting new features is the Ask Anything AI. Imagine having an AI research assistant right there at your fingertips, ready to answer any question you throw at it.
Okay, now that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But how does it actually work? Do I just type in a question and it magically spits out the answer?
Well, it's not magic, but it's pretty close. You can ask a question in plain English and ask it anything. AI will sift through your data as well as this vast external knowledge base to find the most relevant information.
So it's not just searching for keywords. It's actually understanding the context of my question and finding the information that's most helpful.
Exactly, and it goes beyond just providing links, ask anything. AI synthesizes information from multiple sources and presents it in a concise, easy-to-understand format, often highlighting key points and connections that you might have missed.
Wow, this DAP V2 update is sounding more and more impressive with each new feature we discuss. But before we get too carried away with the future, I think it's important to step back and really consider what all of this means for the average user. What are the tangible benefits of Oknest AI beyond just having a neatly organized digital life?
I think one of the biggest benefits is just that feeling of peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a tool that can handle all that information chaos. No more feeling overwhelmed or drowning in data. Oknest AI helps you regain control and just focus on what really matters most.
That peace of mind is definitely valuable in today's world, but are there more concrete benefits? Can Oknest AI actually help people to make better decisions?
Absolutely. By providing context and insights, Oknest AI empowers you to make more informed decisions, whether it's about investments, business strategy, or even just your own personal goals. Instead of relying on gut feeling or incomplete information, you have a tool that can help you to see the big picture and evaluate your options more strategically.
So it's not just about organizing information, it's about using it to your advantage.
Exactly. It's about turning information into action knowledge into power.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. But what about collaboration? Can Oknest AI be used by teams, or is it primarily an individual tool?
That's a great question, and the answer is both. While it's a fantastic tool for individual use, they're also working on some collaborative features that will allow teams to brainstorm, share ideas, and build knowledge together in real time.
That's exciting. Imagine having a shared mind map where everyone on a team can contribute their insights and just see those connections forming. You could really revolutionize the way that teams work and innovate.
Exactly. It has the potential to break down silos, foster creative thinking, and help teams to achieve more together.
This DAP V2 update is sounding better and better. Are there any other details about it that you think our listeners would find interesting?
Well, they're really focusing on user experience. The new interface is designed to be even smoother and more intuitive with drag-and-drop tools and customizable templates. They want to make sure that using Oknest AI is a joy, not a chore.
I can appreciate that. There's nothing worse than clunky software that makes you want to pull your hair out. But I'm curious to hear your take on the bigger picture. What do you think is the long-term potential of Oknest AI? How could it reshape the way we think, learn, and create?
That's a fascinating question. I believe that tools like Oknest AI represent a paradigm shift in how we interact with information. By making it easier to access, organize, and understand, it has the potential to empower individuals in ways we've never seen before.
Empowerment through information. I love that. It's like giving everyone a superpower.
Exactly, and I think we're only just scratching the surface of what's possible. Imagine a world where learning is personalized, where anyone can easily connect the dots and see the big picture, regardless of their background or expertise.
It sounds like a world where complexity isn't so intimidating, where information is a tool for empowerment rather than a source of stress.
Precisely. And I think Oknest AI is paving the way for that future.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. But before we wrap up this part of our exploration, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. How could Oknest AI transform the way you think, learn, and create? It's a question worth considering.
Absolutely. And in part 2 of this deep dive, we'll explore the technical side of Oknest AI in a lot more detail. We'll delve into how the AI technology actually works, from natural language processing to machine learning algorithms, and discuss the potential impact this could have on how we understand and utilize information.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Oknest AI.
It's great to be back. I'm excited to dig a little deeper into the technical side of things.
Me too. We talked about some really amazing features like mind mapping AI and the context engine. But I have to admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on how it all actually works. It almost sounds like magic.
Well, it's not magic, but it does involve some pretty sophisticated technology. Let's start with mind mapping AI. At its core, it uses a combination of natural language processing and machine learning algorithms to analyze the information that you feed it. Essentially, it's teaching itself to understand the meaning and the relationships between different pieces of data.
So it's not just storing information, it's actually learning from it.
Exactly. Think of it like this. When you read a book, you're not just passively absorbing words on a page, right? You're making connections. You're identifying those key concepts. You're building a mental model of the information.
Okay.
That's what Oknest AI is doing, but at a much larger scale and with incredible speed.
It's pretty mind-blowing, but how does it actually turn all this data into those visual mind maps? I'm a visual learner, so that part really intrigued me.
So once Oknest AI has, analyzed your data and identified the key concepts and relationships, it uses algorithms to create a visual representation of that information in the form of a mind map. And the central idea or topic is placed right there in the middle, and then related concepts branch out from there, creating this hierarchical structure that's really easy to navigate and understand.
So it's kind of like a family tree, but for ideas.
That's a great analogy. And just like a family tree, the mind map can be expanded and explored in different directions, allowing you to see how different pieces of information relate to each other.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the context engine? We talked about how it provides insights, but I'm still not entirely clear on how that works in practice. Is it reading my mind?
It's not quite telepathy, but it can feel like it sometimes. The context engine is where the real magic happens. It goes beyond simply organizing information and starts to analyze it for those patterns, trends, and potential insights that you might not have noticed on your own.
Okay, can you give me a more concrete example? Like in the last part, we talked about researching the electric vehicle market. Let's say I'm an investor looking for opportunities in that space. How could the context engine help me?
Okay, great example. Imagine you've been following several EV companies, reading news articles, financial reports, maybe even listening to industry podcasts. You feed all of this information into Oknest AI. The context engine might pick up on a pattern that you hadn't noticed, perhaps a surge in investments in a specific type of battery technology, coupled with new regulations that are favoring that technology in a major market. That connection, highlighted by Oknest AI, could reveal a very specific investment opportunity that you would have otherwise missed.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having this army of analysts working behind the scenes, constantly crunching data and looking for those golden nuggets of insight. But it still sounds a little abstract. Can you break down the actual technology behind the context engine? What kind of AI is at play here?
Sure, it's a combination of several cutting-edge AI techniques. One is natural language processing, which allows the system to understand the meaning and context of the text you feed it, whether it's from articles, reports, or even your own notes. Then there's machine learning, where the system learns from the data. It processes identifying patterns and making predictions based on that learning.
So it's constantly evolving and getting smarter the more I use it.
Precisely. And there's another crucial aspect, knowledge representation. This involves structuring information in a way that the AI can understand and reason about, kind of like creating a mental model of the world for the AI to work with.
Okay, that's starting to paint a clearer picture. It sounds incredibly complex, but also incredibly powerful. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the 𝗢𝗢𝗡 update. We touched on some of the new features in part 1, but I'd love to get a little bit more technical.
Absolutely. One of the major improvements in 𝗢𝗢𝗡 is the enhanced Ask Anything AI. It's been upgraded with a more advanced natural language understanding engine, allowing it to process even more complex questions and provide more nuanced answers.
So it's not just about keywords anymore. It's actually understanding the intent behind my questions.
Exactly. And they've also expanded its knowledge base significantly, giving it access to a much wider range of sources, including real-time data feeds and specialized databases.
That's pretty impressive. It sounds like ask anything. AI is becoming a real research powerhouse. But what about the mind maps themselves? Are there any improvements there?
Definitely. They've added some really cool features to make the mind maps even more interactive and dynamic. For example, you can now embed multimedia elements directly into your mind maps, images, videos, audio clips, even interactive simulations.
Wait, so I can have a mind map about like a historical event with embedded photos and videos right there in the map.
Yeah.
That's next level.
Exactly. It's about creating a richer, more immersive learning and research experience. And they've also introduced customizable templates for different use cases. So if you're working on a business plan, a research project, or even just planning a vacation, you can choose a template that's pre-structured to fit your needs.
That's smart. It lowers the barrier to entry and makes it easier for people to get started without feeling overwhelmed. But I'm also curious about the technical side of things. How are they ensuring that all these new features are scalable and performant?
They're using a combination of cloud computing and distributed processing to handle the increased workload. Essentially, they're spreading the processing power across multiple servers, which allows the system to handle huge amounts of data and complex computations without slowing down.
So it's like having a supercomputer at my fingertips.
In a way, yes, but without the complexity and cost of actually owning and maintaining a supercomputer.
Okay, this is all incredibly impressive.
Yeah.
But with all this talk of AI and complex algorithms, one question keeps popping into my head. How do we know that we can trust the information that Oknest AI is providing? I mean, AI can be biased, can it?
Yeah.
That's a really important question, and one that the developers of Oknest AI are very aware of. They've built in several mechanisms to ensure the accuracy and reliability of the information. For one, they're very careful about the sources they use to train the AI models, relying on reputable and trustworthy sources of information.
So it's not just scraping data from random corners of the internet.
Definitely not. They've also implemented a system of human oversight expert curators review and verify the information that's being used to train the AI, helping to identify and mitigate potential biases.
That's reassuring. It's good to know that there's a human element involved in ensuring the quality of the information. But even with all these safeguards, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used responsibly.
Absolutely. It's crucial to approach any information, whether it's generated by AI or not, with a critical eye. Question the source, consider different perspectives,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to do your own research.
Well said. It sounds like Oknest AI is a powerful tool, but it's up to us, the users, to use it wisely. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the technical details of the context engine to the exciting new features in 𝗢𝗢𝗡. But before we move on, I want to ask you a question that's been on my mind since we started this deep dive. What are the potential downsides of a tool like this? Are there any risks we should be aware of?
That's a great question, and one that deserves careful consideration. One potential risk is that people become overly reliant on AI and stop thinking critically for themselves. It's important to remember that Oknest AI is a tool to enhance our own intelligence, not replace it.
So it's about finding the right balance, using AI to augment our capabilities, but not letting it take over our thinking entirely.
Exactly. Another potential risk is that we become so focused on the data and the insights that we lose sight of the bigger picture. AI can be incredibly powerful, but it's important to remember that it's just one piece of the puzzle. We still need to use our own judgment, our intuition, our creativity to make sense of the world and make informed decisions.
That's a really important point. AI can help us see the trees, but we need to be careful not to lose sight of the forest. Okay, I think this is a good place to pause. For now, we've delved into the technical intricacies of Oknest AI, explored those exciting new features in 𝗢𝗢𝗡, and even touched on some of the potential risks and challenges.
It's been a fascinating exploration so far, and in part 3 of this deep dive, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture, the potential impact of Oknest AI on society, the future of work and learning, and what it all means for the way we interact with information in the years to come.